So a breaker failure scheme is a type of logic scheme that we can implement in a protection relay to clear a fault even after a breaker has failed to trip. So for example, let's say that you have a fault in a feeder in a substation and the feeder breaker fails to trip following a fault. We need to have a way to isolate the fault by tripping the surrounding breakers at the substation. And we can do this by using what's called a breaker failure scheme. So in order to set up a breaker failure scheme, we need a few pieces of information. First, we need to know when the breaker has been told to trip by any relay at the substation. So this is what we call the breaker failure initiate signal, and it basically tells the relay that's doing the breaker failure protection when the breaker has been told to trip by any relay at the substation. Second, we need to know how long the breaker should take to trip following a fault. This is what we call the breaker clearing time. This is a specification of the breaker, and it basically tells us how long the breaker should take to trip once its trip call has been energized. And then third, we need to have a way to know whether the breaker has successfully tripped or not.